Hard on the brake and then flat on the accelerator. Let it build up a little bit. Straight off the line. No hesitation at all. It just takes off and goes. And it looks like it's done. Welcome to what is one of my favorite BMWs currently on sale today. It's the M340i. Basically, it is the flagship 3 Series model. So if you forget about the M3, which is made by BMW M division, this is a normal showroom BMW model. It's a bit confusing, but it's part of their M performance range, which is basically the performance versions of standard BMW models. The latest 3 Series adopts a new front bumper bar with vertical intakes in the sides there, and they're real, they actually go through. New grille lower down, and some squashed kidney grills up at the top there. I'm glad BMW hasn't adopted its, shall we say, awkward vertical grills like on the 4 Series and plenty of other models. There's also wider and thinner headlights, which kind of create a seamless line all the way across. One of the reasons I love the M340i is because it is quite sedate and subtle. It doesn't scream and shout that it is a performance model, even though it is very, very quick. I like the styling too. So that being an M performance model, it has various black highlights. So the black grills at the front, black window surrounds, and black side mirrors. Interestingly, BMW has fit these M inspired mirrors with the little curl there that comes across. That's a trademark BMW M feature, so you'll find similar sort of style on all M cars. And then around at the back, a neat lip spoiler, looks very elegant in black, and a new diffuser lower down. This is a bit more aggressive to the diffuser on the previous model. This example features the 19-inch alloy wheels, although you can option up to 20s. And it also has the red painted calipers. These are high performance brakes too. They're floating discs. So you can see these little studs there. Basically that means the disc is floating, so all the heat has to jump across something that's not actually connected. I mean it is connected, but it's two separate pieces. Performance cars have been doing that for years, and so has BMW M cars actually. Under the bonnet is the same B58 3-litre turbo inline 6 that you'll find in all M40i models, so including the X3 M40i and X4 M40i, and also the Z4 M40i and Toyota Supra. It's not a twin turbo. People get confused when they read twin power. Twin power just means it has twin vanes, so the turbocharger has two sort of pipes, I suppose you could call it. It's a pretty common thing with turbocharging. That's just BMW's terminology. They say twin power. It sounds beautiful on the road, so we'll start it up and go for a drive. Just quickly though, the interior is very smart, luxurious. I love these seats. They even have adjustable side bolsters here. So you push that button and the side bolsters will come in and out depending on how much hugging you want while you're driving along. But yeah, very clean, but well built, well made interior. I'll just turn it on. And you'll see the latest 3 Series has this huge twin curved screen running across the dash. Very good graphics. The menu system is similar to previous BMW models. It's just a more evolved, more in-depth system. It just does take a little bit of getting used to, but if you've driven BMWs before, it won't take too long. A lot of cars are becoming very complicated these days too, so it's just a matter of learning pretty much no matter what car what new model you get. And then in the back, decent amount of legroom for this class. It's not the most spacious, but it's not the least spacious either. The center console, the center tunnel there, doesn't take up too much room. In some competitors that is quite large, making it difficult to sit in the middle, comfortably anyway. This example also has climate control and twin USB-C charging ports. And then around the back, this example has an electronic boot lift, which is quite unusual for a sedan, I think. I don't think it's really needed, to be honest. If you can option not to have that, it'd probably save a little bit of weight. And it's, yeah, it just doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't seem like it's needed. But anyway, there's a decent sized boot, and you can actually fold down the rear seats as well, so you can poke things through a bit like a wagon. Obviously you have this big bulkhead there, so you can't stack things in like a wagon, but still good to have that handy option to flip down the seats. Very nice, sweet inline 6 engine sound. I like that it's not too loud and barky, it's just a smooth, but it's got a lot of bass there, so you can definitely tell it's not a standard model. Plenty of apps in here, weather, navigation. You can change various car settings as well. I've got Apple CarPlay loaded up, so it's got some of my apps, the music app, Microsoft Teams and all that sort of thing. But then there's also drive settings. So here's where you can go into, I like that you got this option just here, lane departure warning. So some cars you've got to go into a menu and use your steering wheel buttons and then load something up, hold something down, you know, whereas this is you just go into drive settings and it's straight away right there. It's like it knows that some people are going to turn that off straight away. I've got it turned off, and it does stay off too. When you turn the car off, get back in, it actually stays off. This has also got iconic sounds. You can turn that on and you get sort of artificial sound enhancement through the speakers. Can't really tell why you're idling on the spot. Yeah, it's pretty much the same. But when you start driving, I'll flick that again, you can hear the difference. I don't like these sort of fake engine sounds, especially when you've got a nice inline 6 turbo. It doesn't matter if it's a bit quiet, I don't mind that. It already produces a very nice natural sound, so I don't think that's needed. It is a little bit wet, but that's all right because this features xDrive all-wheel drive, the M340i. That's the only all-wheel drive 3 Series in Australia, aside from the M3. The road we're going on is a concrete road. It is a nice winding road, but yeah, it's concrete, so it does have a lot of connections in it. Apologies if, you know, that's a little bit bumps, or the constant bumps between the connections, but it is a nice road. I love what BMW has done with their suspension in recent times. I mean, a few years ago they were criticised for being perhaps a bit too firm, especially in Australia, but now they've seemed to have found a really good balance. So this road has got a lot of connections and bumps on it, but it's still comfortable. It's braced, but it's comfortable. And it feels very secure as well. It feels like the wheels are firmly planted on the ground all the time. In fact, just here's a little bit of a jump as you come around this bend. Yeah, beautiful. So I put it into sport mode now, and straight away, yeah, you can feel the response from the accelerator pedal. You don't need to push it that much, and you'll get a reaction from the engine. Heaps of top end power as well. And you can flick one of the paddles behind the steering wheel and it will go into manual mode. I don't actually know if it will hold the gear or if it will automatically change up, so let's try it. Go back to first. Yeah, it changes automatically. So it won't actually hold the gear, which is a little bit frustrating if you're driving on a track, because sometimes you don't want it to upshift right at the last minute. You'd rather just hit the red line for a second, and then you can maintain that same gear as you go around the corner. But still very responsive. It blips on the downshifts as well. Smooth upshifts. Very nice. And with all-wheel drive, it's a good cross-country tourer as well, because you've got the grip and the safety of being able to drive on almost all surfaces, or at least all weather, and still have that peace of mind. Personally, I'd prefer rear-wheel drive just for a bit more fun, but I can see why BMW would fit all-wheel drive, because it's becoming a bit too quick for the general public now, just with rear-wheel drive. You've also got an S mode for the transmission as well, so you hit this little lever down again. Once you've gone past D, you hit it again and it goes into S. And that just means you've got a more aggressive downshifts and earlier downshifts as well. So you come into a corner and it will change down for you, and it will hold the gears longer as well. So in this mode, the cross-country performance is outstanding. You won't find many cars, even some super sports cars, in wet conditions that can beat this. It just pounces from corner to corner, sprinting across all surfaces with complete stability. It's a bit like a hot hatch in my opinion, in that it's playful, it's approachable, but it's still very quick. I do like having the manual shifters there though. Just makes you feel like you're more integral in the driving experience. Good brakes. Even though this is not an M model, it's, yeah, very good brakes. The steering is really nice. I mean, it is a 3 Series, so it's got a high benchmark that it needs to maintain. It does feel a little bit artificial, I suppose, is the best way to describe it, but it's very responsive. You've still got plenty of feel there as well. It's direct, precise, you know exactly where the wheels are. Yeah, it's still very much near the top or at the top of the class. In terms of acceleration, so I've got the Vbox connected up just here. I did the performance test the other day on the private road, and it did 0 to 100 in 4.1 seconds. That's pretty quick. BMW claims 4.4, so it's actually 0.3 of a second quicker than that. But I'll show you now what it's like. It is a little bit wet, but I'm actually pretty interested to see how the all-wheel drive system does it in the wet. It's pretty much flat. I mean, it slopes down slightly, but then it rises back up again, so it should even out. But this is just a bit of a guide anyway. Try and get the launch control to engage. Sometimes it's a bit funny, but yeah. Very smooth off the line. That's 100. That looks like it's done 4.2 seconds in the wet, which is outstanding. I know it is all-wheel drive, but still you'd think it would slip a little bit. Yeah, 4.24 seconds. That's incredible. So this is that's why I like this car, because it is so sedate and it's, you know, it's very modest, but yet it does 4.2 seconds, which is not far off, you know, a Porsche 911 not that long ago. We'll just do another one going back the other way, just to make sure. So in S mode again, hit start, hard on the brake and then flat on the accelerator. Let it build up a little bit. Straight off the line. No hesitation at all. It just takes off and goes. And it looks like it's done 4.2 again. There you go, 4.17 seconds in the wet. That's incredible for a modest sedan like this. You look at the outside and you don't think it's going to be 4.17 seconds in the wet. I mean, I did 4.10 in the dry, so it's not actually that much different, but still low fours like that in a very, you know, conservative sedan like this. That's why I reckon it's a really cool car. It's also pretty good on fuel. We've averaged, I mean, we did a lot of highway driving with this one, but it's averaging 7.2 litres per 100 kilometres. That's over a distance of 1,200 kilometres. You can't complain with that, really. For the performance, 4.2 seconds, 0 to 100, 7.2 litres per 100. That's a real world achievable result too. It included performance testing, but as I said, that was a lot on the highway. So even if it bumped up to about 9 with a bit of highway driving, that's still very, very respectable for this type of car. Yeah, as I said, this is definitely one of my favourite BMWs on sale. The new model is pretty much just a light evolution of the first version that came to Australia about 2 or 3 years ago. It's a bit smarter, better technology, a little bit heavier. It's about 20 kilograms heavier than the previous model, but overall it's still an astonishing machine. It's very unassuming. You don't realize how much this thing can do. That's what I love about it the most. Stay tuned for the full written review on the website soon, and it will include our usual 0 to 100 performance test. Thanks for watching.